Hi guys, it's Ray with Ray's Turquoise Turtle. Today I am working on cups in a blue and gold series. I'm doing 3 16-ounce tapers. I have a customer for one and I'm going to let her pick which of the 3 she wants me to do her decal on. So I am working on the 3 of those. This one is going to be a Milky Way. I spray painted it with some of the base color, but I'm going to go ahead and put some gold in first. I didn't quite get my swirls swirled enough because of the taper, so I'm going to try and get a little bit better of a swirl as I go with my colors. This color is called Golden Glam from Bees Bling. It's the only chunky I'm going to use on this one. This is a custom mix I made of 3 of the other ones you're going to see me use in a minute. So I'm just going to run a little bit of that. And I have to remember on the taper that I have more surface at the top than the bottom. But I'm going to run a little bit of that down. And I am going to try and use minimal glitter on each layer or swirl because they're going to mix and they're going to end up in the dump cup. So I'm going to try and control my glitter a little bit. So I have a super goldy gold that I'm going to do next to the gold chunky. And I'm going to do Go Lightly is one of the 3 I mixed in this. I'm going to use that next. I have like a champagne gold I want to mix into, but I don't think I want it touching the other golds. So I think I'm going to break it up a little bit. This way. And I am kind of losing my swirl just a little bit. So that's that one. Then the lightest color I have is the turquoise poly pastel from It's Pretty Personal. And this is going to soak in quite a bit because this is much thinner. It's super duper fine. And I'm not even sure I'm going to have room for the champagne gold because I do have one more glitter color, but I think I might eliminate this color in favor of the champagne gold just to bring in some more gold. So because this becomes more of a blue than a tealy blue, and this is a mix that included that, so I'm just going to eliminate that one and come in this line, whatever's left with the champagne. And I don't necessarily want that wide a stripe of the champagne, so I may grab the turquoise back and just fill all of it with that. So that's all covered. I haven't got my bottom yet, and I think I'm just going to do the mix it all and dip the cup to get the bottom. Because this is going in the dump cup, I'm not worried about contaminating really. So that is the start. I'm going to let this dry. I'm going to pat that chunky down just a little bit though. I'm going to let this dry for a couple hours. This is a liquidy split, so it should dry quickly. But I'm going to let that dry, and I will come back in to get the flood coat on. Okay, I am ready to flood coat this one now. And I fully anticipate a little bit of this glitter moving, but it's still going to get that Milky Way coat over top, so I'm not overly concerned with that, because this is not the final state for this cup. So if some of the gold chunky moves, it's going to be perfectly okay. Make sure I get the bottom and around the rim pretty well. And then I'm also using KS Resin Liquidy Split for this coat so that I can get the flood coat on here hopefully, or the Milky Way, which it's not going to be a white Milky Way. I have something up my sleeve for that as well. But hopefully I can get that on here tonight as well. These cups you're not going to see finished, any of these three, because I'll have to decide after the client decides what I want to decal the other two with. So I'm okay with this little bit of gold chunky traveling through here. If you don't want your glitter to travel, make sure you clear coat it a couple times before you go on to the next step. But she is all about glitter and gold and the blues, so I am good with them traveling on this cup. So I am going to let this one spin and dry for a couple hours, and then I will be back in to do the Milky Way coat. Okay, so I am ready to do the Milky Way part on this. The first thing I'm going to do is give it a clear coat. Just a good coat so it can move. It doesn't have to be too thick. The gold part is still a little bumpy, the chunky, but it's fine. I just don't want to do a million layers and have the cup ending up too thick, because it's still got at least 1 to 2 more coats after this part. But this is the last part you're going to see of this cup, because it'll be done enough for me to have my customer decide which one they want. So this will be the last you're going to see of this one. That's the plan anyways. And then she can decide which she likes best. And the other two you will end up seeing most likely in the sale. Whether they're customized or not at that point, or decaled or not, I don't know. But alright, so that is a coat. And I'm going to put a little bit of epoxy in 2 different cups. I'm trying not to touch anything with this hand right now, which is silly. I may as well just take my gloves off, because I'm going to have to handle my torch and my heat gun. So I'm going to sneak that glove off. So what I have is turquoise resin pigment. It's, I got you zoomed down so you can see the cup, and but it's just a big box from Amazon. of resin pigments. So I've got turquoise in that. I'm going to put maybe 4 drops in that little bit that I did there. And I have my gold Pinata paint, or alcohol ink, which I'm hoping will mix nicely into the resin. Making sure it's shaken up really well. Any of your metallics you need to shake up really well. So, I'm going to put a couple drops in there. And I'm going to get a couple little stir sticks. I'm just going to use little skewers. And I'm going to decide if that's dark enough. I'm going to do a couple more drops, and I may add a tiny bit of resin also. So I put up a couple more drops in, but I'm going to add just a tiny bit because I don't want it to be stretched too awful thin. That was probably more than I needed in the gold, but it's okay. I am going to try to move the swirls with just my torch, but I do have my heat gun plugged in and on standby if I need it. So I think that'll be okay for that. And I'm going to see if I can mix this gold in and not have it get too clumpy. I don't normally mix the metallics in like this, but thought I'd give it a try. So, start with the gold, I think, and I'm just going to kind of run a line along the edge of where I have the golds. And maybe some over the middle. And I did not move this cup to a reversible turner, so the way it's turning is the way it's going to turn. And I know the cup is slumping. I will get it leveled up when I move it out of this working spot. And we get some on the bottom. And then I'm going to come in with my blue. My turquoise, rather. Okay. Do a little bit more along that edge there. I had to pause you a second. I've had like 2 sneezing fits, so sorry about that. Okay, so like I said, I'm going to try with just the torch. If the torch isn't going to work, I will grab the heat gun. But I'm hoping just a quick torch will move it without setting the ink on fire. A little hot there. So I think I'm going to drag some of the gold through some of the blue as well. Just a little bit more. Just to break up some of these bigger sections. And I might do the same with the blue over the center section of gold. I don't want to overheat this cup. That's what I'm trying to avoid. I don't like that this blue doesn't want to break up so much. So I'm going to kind of give it a little nudge. Okay. I'm just going to give it almost like you were doing a normal torch to pop bubbles quick. Just to kind of flatten that back out. Get the resin moving again. Alright, so I think I'm good here. I'm going to let this spin a bit, and then I will bring you down and let you see what I have going on. But I think I'm good with this one. I think it's pretty. So, just watching it. I will bring you down for a close-up in just a little bit.